y'all, this is my review for The Real Housewives of Dubai, episodes 5 and 6. How come y'all not watching? They're getting like the lowest ratings in the series history, which is pretty short. You know, they're only on season 2. But you even have Ayan going to her social media asking people to watch and just saying, it's going to be a good season. We have a lot of good episodes coming up. You know that's a warning sign. I don't think they're coming back, y'all. I mean, it was a good try, but it's just something about this show that's just not landing with people. Anywho, though, we open the episode with Stansberry and her boy toy. They're finally in their new place. They're still having some things done to their house while they're there, but they couldn't stay with their other friend any longer. So then they're being visited by Ayan, who is actually the first person to come see it. So she's giving them a tour of the place, and looks good. Stansberry even got a bonsai tree airlifted in. Well, not airlifted, y'all know what I mean. They got it lifted by a crane and sat in the middle of their backyard or some shit. I didn't realize how rich Stansberry was. Oh, and Ayan, she's still killing it with the fashions. I'm not sure why she's so dressed up for such a casual scene, but it's whatever. So as they're all sitting down eating takeout now, Ayan is asking them their status on having a kid because she says she heard from Stansberry's daughter that she doesn't want her to. Stansberry though even told Ayan that she was raised by nannies. Stansberry's like, look, I was a working mom. We had a staff of 80 in our house. She had a good life. But I'm like, okay, so she had the luxury, but did she have the time by you? And apparently she needs to have that talk with her daughter. But anywho, Sergio is the one who really wants this baby. I don't know. I don't see Stansberry going down this road of having another kid with Sergio. Like, she already had 3 kids, and what, she's in her 50s now? Like, I'm sure she does not want to go through that. I can see them having a divorce before that decision's even made. Next scene, we're with Taleen and her husband, and they're having a baby talk of their own. He still wants her to have another baby, and it has to be a boy. He tells her that verbatim. And I'm like, you know, she's already overwhelmed with the kids that she has. And didn't she say that the pregnancy took a toll on her body? But he doesn't care. He wants an heir. Never mind the children he do have. They then change the subject, and Taleen's talking to her husband about the other ladies. Now, y'all know how I feel about a housewife telling their husband about the drama with them and the ladies. They don't really give a shit. But anywho, she's talking about the dinner and how she got into it with Lisa. And, you know, she says she's over it. She's going to give her the benefit of the doubt. But here go Messy Brooks in her ear again, trying to tell her what the other ladies are saying about her. And Taleen is tired of it. She then tells us that Brooks called her the day after the dinner to say what Stansberry said and what Lisa said. And look, we know Brooks be lying. She be trying to start shit. Like, the only reason I think Ayan and Stansberry were going at it because of what Brooks was saying. And Brooks is just doing what she does yet again. Like, at the beginning of the season, I say everybody had a clean slate, and Brooks has not changed. Thank you, production, for this elementary reenactment of the game of telephone between the ladies. First, Brooks called Taleen. Taleen didn't believe what Brooks was telling her, so she called Stansberry. And then Stansberry called Lisa to vouch for her. Now see, isn't this the mess we want from Housewives? Yet no one is watching. And I think because the audiences are just so desensitized from the drama like this, that they need scandals, fist fights, and criminal behavior to stay tuned. So then Taleen says she wants to confront Brooks on this behavior, but she's hesitant to because you know how confrontational Brooks can be and how defensive she gets. And I don't think she wants that smoke. Next scene we're with Lisa, and this is basically an infomercial for her Mina Rowe business. Fine, and she's also a great mom. We got it. So next scene we're with Sarah on her date with that fine man that was in the phone in the last episode, and she brought her son along to this date. Man, this man is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I call these type of men fantasies. So far, Sarah likes the guy and says he checks all the boxes that's important to her, including the looks box, because throughout this scene, this guy is mesmerizingly fine. Is that a word? Mesmerizingly? So we found out from Sarah that she let the guy babysit her kid. They must know each other very well for her to even, let him do that. And she said it's very important whether her son likes the guy or not. Now, Sarah, I don't know if this was a good idea, bringing your kid on a date and saying that, he'll make a good dad. Child, and they're in the dating stages? No, I would have ran for the high hills or the high sands in Dubai. Next scene, we're with Stansbury and Sergio doing an IVF visit, just for information, I guess. We're almost at the halfway point in this episode, and yeah, I'm kind of bored. I really don't care about this plot line. Oops, oh my God, I thought Stansbury was in her 50s. She is 46. My bad. Oh my God, Sergio's just so fucking stupid. He really wants Stansbury naked with her stomach out. He wants her to carry it. She is almost 50, you nitwit. And then Stansbury's in her confessional talking about surrogacy, but it's illegal in Dubai, so they would have to do it in the US or maybe Europe. And she's saying, knowing her, 9 months go by, she'll forget about it. And then a baby will be at her doorstep and she don't know what to do. So next scene, I think the new girl, Sarah's friend, is hosting a Ramadan. So it's her, Sarah, Ayan, in this ridiculous ball gown. I mean, she looks stunning, but I'm just like, again, why are you in a ball gown, Ayan? And then Brooks is there too. And Sarah brought that fine ass man of hers. And honestly, they need to just have him on the entire run of the show so I can just keep watching. And speaking of which, Ayan is enamored by him and how good he looks. She calls him the giraffe man. Now, as they're explaining the concept of Ramadan, the fasting part, I don't know, I would pass out. I don't think I could do it. Any of y'all in the chat, let me know if you participate in Ramadan and how do you get through it? So during the dinner, the ladies are just interrogating Sarah's man. Wow, he really is pretty. I'm just distracted. I don't really care what's going on in the scene right now. I'm just staring at him. Ooh, so Brooks is talking to her confessional and you can see the lining of her lace front. It's very noticeable. So now the topic of conversation is Lisa and why she snapped at Taleen at the table. And Ayan's just saying, well, her mom just left Dubai and she's dealing with that. She has 3 kids, blah, blah, blah. We got to Ayan's confessional and she says she's uncomfortable by them asking her questions about her best friend. She's like, if you got a problem with Lisa, why don't you ask her? I will say though, we're 5 episodes in and I'm still trying to wonder how did Ayan and Lisa fall out? Cause they seem thick as thieves here. All right, so next scene we're with Brooks meeting up with Taleen for dinner. Brooks looks like she's just for the Renaissance tour. So the conversation is cordial so far. Again, Brooks's lace front is kind of distracting. Anytime the baby hairs are completely disconnected from the rest of your hair, it just, is that the new thing? Oh my God. We come to Taleen's confessional and she says Brooks looks like a very thin astronaut. She even tells Brooks that it looks like she's losing weight and not in a healthy way, but in the stressful way. So the topic of Stansbury's event comes up. All the ladies are invited. It's going to be in the middle of the desert. And this is the perfect segue for Taleen to express her issue to Brooks. So she nicely tells her that she can instigate. And she thinks she does it because she's afraid that she's not going to show her loyalty. And already, Brooks is getting defensive. Taleen points out to Brooks that she called her the day after to let her know what the ladies said about her, but she feel like it wasn't in a concerned way, it was in a messy way. And then she tells her she has a history of playing a telephone game and, production, they roll the footage. Brooks thinks she is not stirring the pot at all. She says she's being a good friend to her and the conversation is going left fast. Production's already playing the Jumanji drums. Taleen is very taken aback by Brooks' reaction. Next scene, we're with Stansbury and Sergio again. We're at their house and Sergio's family is coming to visit. I think it's his mom, sister, and brother. Just as Sergio's family's arriving, Stansbury is leaving to meet up with the ladies for her event in the middle of the desert. So we cut to that, the ladies are all arriving, and of course, Ayan arrives in a ball gown, even though Stansbury advised her not to. She has the blue hair, she just looks ridiculous because they're in the middle of the desert. This is not practical. It literally makes no sense, and I think I'm over this shtick. So all the ladies are there, and then they get a video message from Stansbury saying that the party bus broke down, so they have to ride in this very small van. And Ayana's wondering how is her ball gown gonna fit in there? And then we cut to Lisa's confessional, and she's saying that Stansberry maxed out her card on her house. She ran out of money, had to give him this van to ride in. Okay, so it seemed like it was all just a surprise for them. They came in this raggedy van. Well, it's not that raggedy, but they arrived to a line of sports cars provided by Stansberry's friend. All right, so the ladies arrived to their destination, the middle of the desert. On their way there, Taleen was venting to Stansberry about Brooks, which I'm sure Brooks is not gonna like. But yeah, we see them having some fun sliding down the sand, and Ayan is just ruining this ball gown that she rented. Okay, so after this lame sandboarding activity, the ladies go to lunch. They are really just eating lunch out in the open, no shade, and it is 99 degrees. So the first topic of discussion is Sarah's man, and they're asking, has she kissed yet? And I think it's like because of her culture, she said they've never kissed yet. And the ladies just, can't fathom that. And we see that in their confessionals, but Lisa's the only one that understands that, because of her culture, it's forbidden for her to even talk about it. So yeah, maybe she did kiss him behind the scenes, but of course she don't want to say that on camera. So then the topic changes to Brooks, and I think they're talking about her like being calm. Because of the therapy she's been taking because of Sarah, and she's only been one time. But then I think Taleen mentions calm, and then Stansberry is messy. She brings up, well, you weren't calm last night, didn't y'all get into it? So then Taleen and Brooks is discussing what they were talking about the other evening. Taleen tries to call her out, but then Brooks isn't letting her talk. The credits are rolling, and Brooks says she doesn't care about this conversation. Taleen says, well, if you don't care, then maybe we weren't as close as I thought we were. Brooks says that's fine, and that is where the episode ends. Yeah, this episode was so-so. They need to turn the dial up on the season. I need more. And then, y'all notice that Lisa was hardly in this episode? I really feel like as a group dynamic, Lisa isn't really close to any of the ladies except for Ayan. I hope she breaks out of that if she wants to come back next season. Hell, who even knows if there's gonna be a season 3? Anywho, y'all, let's get to episode 6. So we continue with Taleen and Brooks going at it. Taleen says what Brooks told her was very hurtful, and she's calling her out on her shit in front of all the ladies. So she's telling the table what she told her. The majority of them are on Taleen's side. The only person on Brooks' side is Sarah, and it's to the point where Sarah's trying to speak for her or say like, oh, well, you need to apologize to her, or this is what she really means. It's getting annoying, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm glad Stansberry is calling out Sarah. Like, she's like, it feels like you're speaking for her. Let her talk. And what's with all this? Talk like a normal person. She's like, this mumbo jumbo you're doing. And y'all know what she mean. Like how Sarah just trying to be this whole love and light. Girl, drop the spiritual act and just be real for a second. Oh gosh, so now Sarah and Stansberry are going at it. Stansberry actually tells her to shut up. We cut to Lisa's confessional. She's like, we all know how Sarah is. Like, she's a walking Instagram meme. So why are you acting brand new right now? Lisa said, in this country, I would not talk to an Emirati woman like that unless I want to go to jail. But look, Stansberry and her white privilege, I get why she's talking to Sarah like that. And now, wait a minute, why is Saba laughing? Like, ain't you gonna come to your friend's defense? Well, the lunch is a disaster. Brooks decides to get up, as well as Sarah. Stansberry's just like, yeah, go and talk to your friend, please. Just dismisses her from the table. Lisa gets up too. I think it's because she don't really care for Stansberry either, like the other two. I'm also wondering though, why does Brooks need Sarah to speak for her? And she looks kind of out of it in this scene. Is she drunk? So as the three of them are away from the other ladies, Lisa takes this time out to confront Sarah because of what she heard from Ayan when she asked her, oh, is something going on in Lisa's home life or something, for her to snap at Taleen the other evening? Now, Sarah said she didn't say that, but the footage that production just showed said otherwise. Sarah then says the way Ayan brought that to Lisa was out of context. I don't think so. Oh, and by the way, speaking of Ayan's confessional look, with like the tigers on the two sides of her dress and the bald head big earrings, fabulous look. I think that's my favorite so far. The other ladies are back at the table and they're bringing this conversation to the other ladies. And Sarah's asking Ayan, like, why is she presented to Lisa that way? Yeah, I agree with Lisa. Asking me is everything okay at home implies something bigger. Sarah may need to mind her own business because she stayed putting her foot in her mouth. Sarah tells Lisa she didn't mean it like that. Meanwhile, in Taleen's confessional, she's saying that Brooks purposely deflected the conversation so they could be talking about Lisa and Sarah instead of what her and Brooks is going through. So yeah, that was the end of the scene. Lunch is over, Stansbury's event is over. That's pretty chaotic and there was no resolution, but next scene we're with Lisa and Ayan meeting for coffee. So they're just kikiing about the other day with the ladies at lunch and the group dynamic. So then Lisa's saying why it bothered her so much that Sarah was trying to imply that something was going on in her home. She's talking about her husband now and how he told her that it seems like she's always too tired for sex. So I guess what Sarah said annoyed her because there was a little bit of truth to it. Lisa is saying just how overwhelmed she is in general, and production is showing us in previous footage how, that alarm just keep going off. It looked like she's gonna need an alarm for sex with her husband. It looked like she need to hire an assistant or two, maybe like a nanny. She could probably get some tips from Stansbury. So Lisa starts getting emotional at the table and just talking about the what ifs instilled to her by her mom. Like, what if her husband leaves her? Like, what if his business tank? Like, she wants to make sure she's financially independent. I feel like we never really seen Lisa like this. And yeah, maybe she is overwhelmed. I mean, she has to run the business, she got to film this show, and be a mom. All right, next scene we're with Stansbury and Sergio, and you know how much I love their scenes. So we see them having lunch with Sergio's family, and she actually doesn't mind them being there because they're keeping Sergio occupied. Because if they weren't there, he would still be bothering her like non-stop, incessantly. Oh, and I think I said earlier this guy was Sergio's brother. That's actually his sister's boyfriend. Well, here she go again, complaining about being married to Sergio. I don't know why she decided to marry this man. I'm sure that prenup is airtight though. She should have just made him her boy toy and just left it at that. Pardon me as I'm eating my food right now. But yeah, as Stanberry goes about her business, we're left seeing Sergio talk to his mom and his sister. His mom tells him she can't even see Caroline with the baby, and he needs to focus on their relationship at hand. Now, he doesn't like hearing this because he wants descendants. And I'm like, why does he really want a baby when he's a baby himself? Like, did he really not know what he was getting into when he married Stansbury? So next scene we're with Ayan as she's FaceTiming her sister. I think she's coming visit when Ayan has her beauty line event. And the gist of the scene is just her saying how much she loves her sister and how much she supported her. And I love that. But fast forward. So next scene, we're with Brooks headed to the glass house with her son and her mom. So she's giving her mom a tour of the glass house and she's never been there before. As they're sitting down, she's attempting to have a conversation with her son, but he's pretty reserved, very shy, kind of like Riley, Candy's daughter. She's talking about growing up with a lot of siblings, and her son says he doesn't think he's gonna have any. And then she tells him, well, maybe your dad might have siblings. And he said, no, dad doesn't want any more kids. And, I guess it's surprising to her that, he talks to his dad more than her. She asks why, and he gives her a very honest answer on camera that kind of surprised her. I think she probably would have disciplined him if she wasn't on camera, but he said, it's because you always come home late at 10 o'clock at night. And she's like, well, it's because I work a lot so you can afford the life that you have. Like, I'm the one working. Doesn't it suck how the dad always gets the cool points, but the mom gotta be the bad guy? A tale as old as time. Next scene, we're at Sarah's place and she's being visited by her fine German man. And it seems like he's going back to Germany. This is the last day they have together. Ugh, I could just stare at this man all day. Like, if he just looked me in the eye, I would probably melt. Can somebody in the chat provide me with his social media? I'm just curious. I'm not going to follow him. Maybe. So they're just talking to each other about where's the relationship headed? Are they exclusive? I mean, had they kissed yet? Had they had sex? I feel like we won't know that. He tells her, though, that they need to be exclusive in order for him to wait for her. After this conversation, though, I don't really know what they are because she said, well, he has to meet my parents first before we're boyfriend and girlfriend, but we're going to be exclusive in the moment. I don't know. I don't think this is going to last. Sarah don't seem like a fool to me. I'm sure she had the D. I'm sure she had. Next scene, we're with Stansberry having dinner with her daughter. I really do think this is the Guilty Moms episode. Like, we're just going through all the ladies' mother's guilt. So they're really having some real mother-daughter conversation. She tells her mom that she doesn't feel like she prioritizes them, like her and her siblings. Like, she prioritizes Sergio over them. And she says, like, the transition between her leaving her dad during COVID, like, right afterwards, she moved Sergio in. Now, was there some overlap? Probably. I'm on the daughter's side because Sergio gets on my fucking nerves. I can only imagine how they feel. Stansberry tries to reassure her daughter that she is her priority, but the daughter's getting emotional and just saying, well, you do prioritize Sergio over us. The way she crying, I think something more be going on behind the scenes. I think she don't really like Sergio. They be going at it, and then her mom be having Sergio's back. Hell, I've been there because, you know, if I've had my mom bring in dates, but that's Chris's business. But yeah, I get it as the kid. Ooh, okay, Stansberry, I see you with this red dress in the confessional. It was interesting how sterile or just kind of cold Stansberry was as her daughter was just crying to her. Like, I feel like this isn't new. Something tells me, though, that the daughter wouldn't mind if Sergio and her mom got a divorce. Anywho, next scene, we're with Taleen and her family. Side note, we have about 10 minutes left in the episode. I wonder, are all the ladies going to get together again? Because, I'm understanding why they're only getting 200,000 views in an evening. So Taleen's having lunch with her family at her house, and I gotta say, her sister sounds exactly like her. It's scary. So she's talking about how her dog just died, and she's really disappointed that she hasn't heard from Brooks, being that she's known her the longest, but she heard from Ayan, Lisa, and Stansberry. We cut to her confessional, and she says she's seen a side of Brooks that she's never seen before. I wonder how she hasn't seen it. So next scene, we're with Brooks as she's celebrating her son's birthday. I'm not sure if it's an event that all the ladies are invited to. I know in the last scene, Taleen said that if she didn't hear back from Brooks after she, told her son happy birthday, she wasn't going. But then Brooks' ex-husband arrived. After he hugs his son, he's so cold to Brooks and her mom. Like, he extends his hand out and shakes her hand like they just had a job interview and does the same with her mom. It was very awkward. We cut to Brooks' confessional, and production asks, like, is her ex-husband footing the bill for the party? She's like, what? I'm footing the bill. I'm really wondering what were the details of their prenup, because I'm sure she didn't get with this man for his dashing looks and charm. So then we see some of the ladies arriving. We see Sarah arrive with her son, and then Lisa arriving with her kids. We found that Ayan can't come. I'm pretty sure Stansberry isn't coming, and I'd be really surprised if Taleen went. So then we see Lisa ask Brooks, is Taleen coming? And Brooks is like, well, I got my PA to invite her, but she didn't RSVP. Wouldn't she have, personally invited her or just call her up and be like, girl, you still coming? She's not even answering her friend's text messages. So if I was Taleen, I wouldn't go either. Well, speaking of Taleen, we're back with her, and then she's being visited by Stansberry. So I guess she's definitely not going to Brooks' son's birthday party. Wow, what is it with Stansberry taking people's best friends in the group? So we cut back to Brooks talking to Sarah that I guess she's aware that Stansberry and Taleen have been hanging out through social media. So then we cut back to Brooks talking to Sarah about Taleen. I'm like, why is she still talking about her? I'm guessing it really is bothering her. And speaking of which, she said that Lisa showed her, I guess, a video of Taleen and Stansberry hanging out, which definitely infuriated her. So she's just saying, you know what? I'm gonna let her find out about Stansberry on her own. And then we come back to Taleen and Stansberry talking shit about Brooks. They call her a drunk. The credits are rolling, and Yeah, that's where the episode ends. These two episodes, y'all, I mean, they were all right. Collectively, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it like a 6 for entertainment. So I understand why some of you may not be watching, but hopefully you're watching my review. I hear it's more interesting than the show. I hear there's only 5 or 6 episodes left. I know we got the mid-season trailer. And then we'll probably try to find out why Lisa and Ayan fell out. Other than that, y'all let me know whose side y'all on, if y'all care. With that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.